Hello and welcome to the webinar. Thanks everybody for joining today. Appreciate it. We've got a great presentation for you today. This is a service that I've talked about before on our podcast. This is something that I think a demo is going to be useful for. So we're going to talk about, as you can see on the screen, I've got Get the Referral GTR. I've also got Owens Corning. Let me introduce who I've got on here. I've got Jamie Vumbach. Jamie, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet y'all.
Introduce yourself, please.
Okay, there we go. I'll start with me. I'm Jamie Vumbach, CEO and founder of Get the Referral, former contractor, in-home sales, the whole deal. So I know what you guys go through on a regular basis. So excited to share with you some insights on the referral side of the house today.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. You're going to be doing the heavy lifting today. So while you're getting prepared and stretching and warming up, let me also introduce John Gardner. John, how you doing today?
Great, Rich. It's a pleasure to be here on the webinar and always love the opportunity to speak with you. And of course, Jamie, great to see you as well. My name is John Gardner, and I am with Owens Corning. I head up our leaders, our training and development platform, as well as our strategic partnerships. And what does all that mean? This is all the resources and the content and the learnings that we provide our contractors within our network to help them scale and solve some of their biggest challenges. So today is no exception with Get the Referral, and of course, Rich, what your firm focuses on as well. So pleasure to be here, and thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks, John. And I know that Get the Referral and Owens Corning have a synergy. These two companies working together. Jamie, I'm assuming you'll talk about that a little bit as we go through this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Owens Corning has been a great partner of ours, and you know what, John can speak to it, but always looking to add value to their network of contractors. And when John approached me probably about a year or so ago, we started talking, and we're from the same state, so we kind of connected there, and just it was a great opportunity to really get to know the inner workings of Owens Corning. And I've had a lot of partners of doing this over the last 10 years, and I have to admit, Owens Corning and John's team has just been the best. It's been such a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate that, Jamie. First of all, with regard to our partnership, I'm just looking at you right now on the screen, and I'm looking at my brother. I mean, you do look a lot like me, or I look a lot like you, so it has something to do with it. You're a good-looking guy. But with regard to, as you were sharing, Jamie, with regard to our partnership, we'll dig into this a little bit more, but partnerships like we have with Get the Referral in the scope of the resources that we're bringing to our contractors is extremely important, and some of the most important partnerships that we have. And we'll get into some of what we've done with Get the Referral and the amazing success that we've had. But without exception, just right off the bat, big picture, the GTR and Jamie's team are providing best-in-class resources for hitting the target on some of the most important and effective areas where contractors can scale their business. And coupled with the homeowner experience, the technology that you bring, Jamie, and the delivery method for helping our contractors scale, as I mentioned to you, is extremely important, and more importantly, very effective for our contractors, and that's the name of the game. And so that homeowner has to have a great experience, and our contractors need to see that it's a good fit. So we are super excited about our partnership with Get the Referral, and really happy to talk about it here today a little bit more.
Thanks, John.
All right, well, let's jump into that. Before we do that, let me introduce myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Rich Harshaw, the founder and CEO of Level 10 Contractor. We're a marketing agency that focuses on websites, SEO, and advertising, whether that be digital like Facebook or Google ads, digital like digital streaming television, also do a lot in traditional radio and television advertising. So that's Level 10 Contractor. But I'm gonna lead the conversation today, but I'm mostly gonna throw it over to Jamie. we're going to make this about get the referral, because this is something that I want my audience to be very familiar with. I think it's a fantastic tool. And as we go through this today, I think everybody's going to agree. Let's look at the agenda. We're going to talk about attracting early customers, turning them into referral engines, turning your customers into referral engines, planning for peak season, and then some takeaways, key takeaways, and we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end. So let's go into part one here, how to attract early customers. And Jamie, I'm going to hand the reins over to you and let you roll through this, and I'll be providing questions, commentary, and feedback.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Rich. Thanks for the introduction as well. And thank you, John, for sharing your thoughts about our partnership. But, it's all about, the funnel, right? The lead funnel and where the leads are coming in from the perspective of that. And, I'm not going to kind of get into too much of this because we're actually hosting a webinar next Tuesday, 3/18 at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I'm sure that we'll drop the link in there to register for that. And Rich and Level 10 will be kind of sharing with you some of these great early find and convert early buyers. So getting those people in at the top of the funnel, that's where Rich and his team are experts. And what we want to do is once they're in that funnel and they convert, is turning that one customer into a referral machine for you. And that's what we do really well. And where we're going to spend some time here and kind of get into some of the particulars around that. So if we can just move on. Rich, do you want to say anything more about the webinar on Tuesday?
Yeah, just most of my audience knows, I mean, this is what we do in talk from your competitors. We call that identity, making sure that people know who you are, how you're different, why you're better, what people can expect when they do business with you. Also, we're going to be talking next week quite a bit about generating 200 to 500 qualified quotable leads. That's a mouthful. Try to say that real quick. Qualified quotable leads, 200 to 500 a month. You can do that on Google alone. I'm not saying that the only thing you ever need to do is pay attention to Google, but just that one resource, Google, can generate that quantity of quality quotable leads, and we'll be covering that next week. So this week, though, today, the reason we're here is let's talk about these referrals. Look, everybody knows the referrals are the best kind of lead. The question always is, well, how do you get them? And that's what we want to focus on today. So let's go to part two here, turning customers into referral engines. And I'm going to let you take this over as it is your core expertise.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks again. Yeah, I know my audience, my customer base is excited about the webinar next week. So thanks for providing your expertise there as well. But yeah, why referrals, right? I think, when anybody says the word referrals, I think any business that I talk to out there, yeah, we get referrals. And then I have a follow-up question. Well, how much of your business is coming from referrals? And and that's when I get this kind of look. They kind of look up to the upper right-hand corner and go, maybe a couple percent, 3 to 5%. And I'm just like, okay, huge opportunities to really then figure out how do we take a happy customer and turn them into a raving fan and someone that is actually going to, take some steps to, shout out about your company. And that's where technology comes into play. And I think that's where I think John and the OC team has really saw the value in what we do at Get the Referral. But, when you think about the funnel, we talked a little bit about the top of the funnel, and those are all those leads that they're starting to do some investigation. They're starting to kind of see who should I call. And, you got to nurture those leads as they go through the funnel. The best thing about referrals is they're coming in at the bottom part of the funnel. And those are the leads that are going to convert quickly. And it's all about having a great customer experience. And, that's really the key here. It starts with having a great customer experience. And I think for a moment, John, can you kind of share like what do you see, because when you get that Pink Panther on your logo as a contractor, what do you look for when a contractor that's representing OC, what are you looking for when they go and meet with a customer from a customer experience perspective, and why would they, do those things in order to kind of really build that great relationship? Oh, you're muted there, John.
How's that? That good?
Perfect.
I was trying to be good to you, Jamie, and not overspeak when I wasn't supposed to. So there you go. I turn her back on. But it's as I was saying, it's a great question, and I have to say, straight up right at the top of that question is, we really believe that the Owens Corning contractors have decided to be partners with Owens Corning are really amongst the best of the best, and they carry their own badge. Their own brand, but they also carry the brand of Owens Corning and the Pink Panther. And when they do that, it really supercharges both the brand on our side and their brand, and it's a natural connection. And so, to your question, Jamie, what we not necessarily ask for, but the resources that we provide our contractors is help them ignite that. And you brought up 2 or 3 key pieces that, as I was looking through the notes ahead of our webinar here, the first piece that we want to make sure that our contractors deliver at 110% in the home and the resources we bring for them is the homeowner experience. And the GTR and the partnership we've created allows for our contractors to start the experience right at the very beginning of knocking on the door or making that appointment. And it leads them right to the very end of that sales process to continue to provide them with an amazing experience. And one of the things, Jamie, that you and I have talked about and that we continue to hear with just the success that we're having with our partnership is it's not necessarily just the experience itself, but it's in alignment with today's customer. There's this social effect that people are willing to share great success stories, or I can't believe I had an amazing roof done, or a new door, or a kitchen, or whatever it would be. They want to scream out and share that. And GTR allows for that experience from the contractor side and the social engagement from the homeowner side, and just gives them an easy way to continue that process moving forward. And so, I hope that answers your question, Jamie, but it's not necessarily what we ask for from our contractors. We have the best of the best. Our resources help prop up how they go to market and how we can really express the Pink Panther and the Owens Corning brand in partnership with the best contractor that market has to offer. So I'd say, right on target with homeowner experience. That modern journey with homeowner is super important. And then we could talk as we continue here, Jamie, about some of the customized content that we have, but I also want to share some more detail with regard to what we're trying to solve for it, just in addition to some of those key things that I talked about. But off the top, that's all about that experience. And hey, today's all about technology. I have a phone in my back pocket. Let's use it, and it works. So there you go.
Yeah. No, thanks for that, John. And that's my elevator pitch, right? I have an elevator pitch, and someone asked me, "What do you do? What does GTR do?" And really, what it does in my short 15-second elevator pitch is we provide an opportunity for contractors to communicate and engage with their customers from the point of sale to the delivery of product and beyond. And we do that by providing technology at the fingertips of your consumers. And so that journey is so important. And as a contractor, owned my own solar company years ago, and know how hard it is to kind of get a happy customer, that journey's hard, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong along the way. There's just so many things that kind of happen that some of them are completely out of your control. And so being able to, provide good communication, good engagement, good updates, so critical, right? And when you're able to deliver that kind of service, that customer is going to be satisfied in most cases, right? They're going to go, you wowed them, right? You wowed that customer. So how do you take advantage of that? And I just see so many companies not taking advantage of a good, happy customer and just kind of, maybe asking for a review, send them a text message or an email, and that's it. There's no ongoing communication. And the key piece that I mentioned in my elevator pitch was and beyond. So how do you stay top of mind? How do you kind of have a light touch that's not in your face, but you're gently reminding them of, the good service that they had, maybe possibly marketing your other services to them through GTR, through push notifications. That's one thing that I think is super unique for Get the Referral. And I'll kind of get in what Get the Referral is here in just a moment. But really, it's all about, providing the communication tools at their fingertips. So we provide a branded application, branded icon. You own real estate on your customer's phone. And so as a homeowner just doing the project, I'm not searching through text messages. I'm not searching through emails. I'm going on the home screen and hitting that icon, and I'm opening up, and I'm going to be able to track my project, ask questions, look at my documents, look at my contract. So I think, by us providing that to the Owens Corning contractors, along with our, hundreds of other customers, it just makes it easy, right? It's like hitting the easy button. If we can help with that, that's going to turn into more 5-star reviews, and that's going to turn into more referrals.
And with regard to helping with that, what are the pieces? One of the things that we do quite frequently is, we reach out to our network and we ask questions. We survey them. We're looking for insights on what are the critical areas that we can focus most on. Jamie, we've talked about this, and without question, the number one issue, concern, opportunity for growth, whatever you want to call it, is leads. It is the engine of the business, and so naturally the contractors in our network are saying, hey, we need more leads, and so that's number one, is looking at the opportunities that we have to help our contractors drive additional lead generation in their business is really important. But Jamie, you brought this up. I don't see the stat here. You're probably going to bring it up, but what we're also trying to do is say, okay, we understand leads are really important. We get that, but then we ask the questions of the exact question you just brought up, Jamie, is how is your referral lead generation looking? And we saw a disparity between the number of referrals that were going out relative to the number of jobs that we're producing. So the inverse of that is the homeowner is waiting there to provide a referral, and perhaps the contractor didn't take advantage of that opportunity. And what we're trying to do in partnership with Get the Referral and for the benefit of our contractors and homeowners is to shrink that gap to help our contractors, bring that to level set. So for every referral that's available out there, contractors will take advantage of that. And Jamie, you share this a lot. The cost of the referral, the investment in that one referral could mean 5, 10, 15 additional jobs, but certainly even single digits. For the cost of that referral, it's a significant benefit. And so just a little more context with regard to the benefits of our partnership and why we see this as such a valuable resource for our contractors.
Yeah, and I think the stat you were looking for is 91% of consumers say that they would actually send a referral. Okay, and that's huge, right? They have a good experience. Yeah, I don't mind sending a referral. 91%, right? But only 11% of salespeople ever even ask. And that's where some of that disparity is, right? So it's all about changing the philosophy around how you go about, that process, including that in part of your sales process. Like, there's a lot of things that a sales rep needs to do going into the home. They spend a lot of time in most cases kind of reviewing all the different, products and such, and kind of going through that whole thing. And a lot of times the sales reps are just like, it's been an hour and a half. They're ready. The customer's tired. They signed the contract. They want to move on. And that's where I see the ball getting dropped, is adding one extra step in there and having technology make it super simple. That's where the key is, and that's where GTR steps in. And the fact that referrals are going to close at a much higher rate, this is another key thing. Like, one of the reasons why only 11% of salespeople ever ask is, as I mentioned, they've been there for an hour and a half. They're not comfortable asking. They just want to get their commission and move on. Whereas, if they take the time, they have to really see what's in it for me as a sales rep. Like, why, I get 4 or 5 leads a day to go run anyway. So, I'm not going to waste my time asking for referrals. They never have them, or whatever the reason is, right? So you have to build a what's in it for me as a sales rep. Why should I take the extra time? And the nice thing about that is with GTR, you're able to actually, give the sales rep that with them. Like, what's in it for me? Well, sales rep A, you're going to be able to, have your own unique QR code. That's going to track back to you. So no matter when that referral comes in, whether it's today, tomorrow, and 6 months from now, that's going to come back to you as a referral because of the tracking mechanism. And guess what? As a company, we're going to pay that customer, so nothing out of your pocket. And here's a kicker, sales rep A, you're going to get, a 2, 3, 5%, self-gen bonus, right? So it's getting those sales reps. And John, you must see it all the time. Sales reps, like there's, there's some tremendous sales reps out there. The very best, top are all about referrals.
Yep, 100% all about referrals. They're taking advantage of it. And listen, you look at any business, some elements of the business may be running at full steam, and others processes are required. And one of those key things that you just mentioned, Jamie, is that, hey, we want to sell that job and we want to close a job, and it's the primary responsibility of a salesperson, and that's their primary interest. And sometimes a referral, and we learned in speaking with our contractors as we developed our partnership, is that the lack of a process is part of actually one of the more critical issues as to reasons why referrals aren't being activated while they're on there. And so you mentioned the salesperson may not be comfortable doing it, or they may be too excited, or they're moving on to the next, whatever that is, it's a lost opportunity. And so what we picked up during our work together, Jamie, is that process was just as important as the incentive. And so what we love about GTR is that what's in it for me is super important, because it keeps the salesperson totally engaged, not only from the door closes when they're done, but to the next one and to the next one. And so that process and engagement is one of the critical pieces that we love about GTR, because it solves for that technology gap to put the process in place in the tech stack, and it provides incentive to the salesperson. And of course, we spoke about the homeowner and their experience. It all starts and ends there. So that perfect trifecta is what we see with GTR and the referrals. So yeah, 100% Jamie on that process piece.
Yeah, and another thing that you see.
Let me jump in here, guys.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in. I want to move this along to the demo.
Sure.
I think we've got these stats on the screen. Referrals close at a higher percentage, four times more likely to close. Here's what I really want to ask you, Jamie, because this has been my experience. You said earlier, I think it was only 11% of salespeople asked for referrals, right? I think that was the stat.
Yep.
So here's the question. I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna answer it in all at the same time. It's like, well, why are they not asking? And in my experience, the reason is that at the point of sale, which is usually when the salesperson is there and you ask for a referral, very frequently the person that you're asking, there's a couple of major problems. Number one, they don't know that you can actually deliver yet because they've only just now bought from you, but they're feeling good, especially if they said yes. So it's worthwhile to ask. But the truth is, the overwhelming majority of people they don't keep tabs things that they need. It's like, hey, I just got a new hot tub. I wonder which one of my friends around my neighborhood might need a hot tub so I can, bring it up in conversation. It's not, people just don't know which of their friends need stuff. So the reason I love this GTR so much is, like, we can train our salespeople to ask for referrals at the point of sale, and we don't really need an app to train them to do it, but we do need an app for a lot of other things that you're going to explain on here, but also to make sure that we've got this, what did you call it, real estate on their phone, and we can now continue to send them these messages, these notifications, emails, text messages, whatever it is, so that over the course of time, as they're having real life conversations with their friends and the topic comes up, boom, you're going to be right there, top of mind. People aren't going to forget who it was. If it's 2 months or 2 years later, they're going to know who it is. And I think that's the real benefit.
Yeah, no doubt.
You want
about
to jump
that.
into the psychology part of this? I think this part's pretty simple.
Yeah. And John mentioned it before. There is a psychology behind it, right? And the thing is, rest. I'm not going to say a word.
Reciprocity, I'll do it.
Because they feel valued and they want to give back. They truly want to share their experience with their friends and family. They want their friends and family to have the same experience that they had. And if they need that product either now or in the future, they want to share that and get excited about it. And social currency, sharing great experience enhances their reputation. Just look at Facebook and all the other social media out there. They love to show off their new kitchen. They love to show off their new roof, their new windows. So that becomes a big part of it. And then there's a emotional component of it where they know they don't want their family and friends to go through a bad experience. And unfortunately, there are certain companies that don't provide a great experience. So if you find one that does provide a good experience, you want to tell all your friends and family because you want them to experience the same type of situation. So and the one thing, and I didn't mention in the last slide, but I always like to mention this, is there's two really big components that referrals add value. One of them is there's typically less people at the kitchen table, so competition. Competition is almost blocked out completely when you're dealing with a referral. They're not going to have 10 different proposals. And the other piece that's so important, and John, I know you can attest to this, is that they're less price sensitive. They're not sitting there and counting pennies because they're looking for the experience. They probably already talked to their friend about how much they paid and so on and so forth. And so less price sensitive, less competition at the table, going to close at a much higher rate. So how do we get there? What do we need to do to help you guys get there? So I guess that's a good stage to jump into the next slide. All right. So what is Get the Referral? You heard us talking a lot about it. This particular version is a unique version that we created especially for Owens Corning contractors. But bottom line is we're going to build you a branded custom app that is a custom branded app that you're going to also have all your colors, your logos, whatever you want it to look like. As far as the colors and branding, and then you'll also have your own icon, because I think the icon is really, really unique out there to be able to, be on that homepage. They can just click it and go right in, and then from there. But that's really what it's all about, and I'll get into the referral piece of it. But really, some of the key components here, what GTR does is each sales rep is going to have their own unique QR code, as I mentioned. So it's going to tie back to the sales rep. And this is where your sales reps can become entrepreneurial in a sense that not only our existing customers and homeowners can become what we call advocates, but you can also reach out to real estate agents, other businesses that you work with. Anybody out there can be connected to this sales rep through the app, through their QR code, if they're willing to send a referral, and everything's tracked back to them. So being able to have that unique QR code that's specific to the sales rep is so important. And what we do is we're going to integrate with your CRM. We integrate with over 100 different CRMs out there. And we're going to do a couple different integrations. The first one that is so critical is that initial communication to the customer. We call it project stages in this particular slide, whatever you want to call it, but we're going to integrate with your CRM. So as your project manager is moving the project through the different stages, whether it be permit received, materials ordered, materials received, every time that job goes through a different stage, it's going to update the customer through a push notification. And just like a Domino's pizza tracker, they're going to be able to click on project stages and see all of the stages that are completed, what stage that they're currently on, and what's coming up. I think that was a big feature, John, that I think a lot of your contractors get really excited about.
100%. It's that, from walking in the door and being able to, we'll put it this way, homeowners get roofs done maybe once or twice in their lifetime, maybe 3 times. If you multiple houses, who knows, maybe more, but you get the point. it's very, very, very little far between. And one of the elements that pops up naturally is the sense of anxiety. The anxiety is because I'm not sure how much it's going to cost, and can I trust the contractor, and all those things that we all know. We do this in every day when we buy our own things. And you mentioned the process, Jamie, right? From walking in the home to leaving the home. One of the areas that we've invested a lot with Get the Referral is to establish and provide an amazing experience to the homeowner. And Jamie, one of the things that we worked on a lot was to help the homeowner get as much education as possible inside the app with Owens Corning, so that the homeowner can at their own time get a better understanding of just how awesome this contractor is going to be, and what can I expect with regard to this roof that might be put on my home. And so,
Right.
at the end of the day, when you think about that, our education is built in there, because we know that if we educate and we provide that opportunity for the homeowner, then that trust level goes way up. And so if we educate and provide the tech, in this case, the app, that trust level just continues through it. And that's why we see the benefit and the impact with our contractors utilizing GTR. At some point, Jamie, I'll rattle off some of those custom content that we've placed in here, so people can get an idea of that. But yeah, you're spot on with that comment that you had.
Yeah, the document resource button that you see there, that's like kind of your customer portal. That can provide, you can provide whatever information you want to that customer. It could be schedules, service, it could be a copy of their contract, their warranty information. I know one of the things I did when I had my solar company is, when the job was done, I'd come out with this big binder, right? And I go through it with them. They put it up in their closet on the top shelf, and all it does is collect dust, right? They're never going back to that. But with GTR, that's stored all right here in the app. So they just click a button, all those resources are right at their fingertips. And so what we're trying to do is build value in downloading the app right at the point of sale. They're going to be able to track their project. They're going to be able to access all their documents. You're going to be able to reach out to us by clicking a button. They don't have to search for your telephone number. They don't have to look through text messages to see what's going on with their project. And then when the project's over, guess what? We have a write a review section. So we help you get more 5-star reviews. Great experiences turn into more reviews. You can click on, when the job is complete, it sends out a push notification and an email. Hey, your job is complete. Click here to write a review. We bring them into the review section of the app, all branded for you. Like, once again, they're not leaving the app to go anywhere else. It's all rendering in the app. And so they're going to give you a 1 to 5-star. And as soon as they submit that, it brings them right to, say, Google or Facebook, and they stay in the app. So it doesn't leave the browser and goes to another browser. It stays right in the app. So your top of mind awareness is critical there. And then they can write a review on a public review site. And if for some reason it's a 1 or 2-star, it's going to bring up a different screen. It says, hey, you didn't have a great experience. Please tell us why. And so it gives you tools that allow you to hopefully address some of their concerns early on in the process. We have integrations with Company Cam, if you guys are familiar with Company Cam out there. So you can send photos to the customers before and after, during the job. These are all little things that add up to a big outcome, and that big outcome is a good experience, right? So really, really important, those tools. And so as you kind of go through that process from that point of sale to delivery of product, I agree, Rich, to your point. Sometimes it's hard to ask for a referral right at the very beginning. We have a very, very successful customer, and the way they do it, it's the rule of 9. They ask for 3 referrals at the point of sale. They ask for 3 referrals as they're installing, and they ask for 3 referrals at the end of the job. I mean, it works flawlessly for them because it's consistency. Every single customer, they're asking the same questions. It's part of the process, and it works. So building out a repeatable, scalable process is so important here, and that's exactly what you can do here with GTR. So, and then, so you have a great experience. I'll go one back one, Rich, real quick. I just want to kind of touch on the referral piece of it. So obviously, we're going to build a branded app. We make it super easy to send referrals. You can see a button here to add a referral. They can import a contact, type the information in, send that off to you. We also have a share link on the bottom left-hand corner. Every single homeowner has their own referral link. So now they can send that out via social media, text message, email. Just think about it. If you have 1,000 customers and they all have your app, and they each share once a week or once a month on social media, think about the reach for your brand to be out there to thousands and thousands of opportunity. Because, you know, if they're sending just one referral, you know, of a friend or a neighbor that might need that job, that's great. But if they can consistently share the referral link, that's a great way to kind of capture a very large audience at the time that they may need your services. So always encourage your homeowners, your advocates to share their referral link on Facebook. I tell them, do it once a week. Send it out once a week, and you're going to get paid for it. You're going to get paid for those referrals. And then when a referral does sell, we're going to integrate with your CRM. It's going to update the lead. It'll send a message back to the homeowner that sent the referral. Hey, thank you very much. You just earned $500. And you'll see in there also a wallet. Wallet is super important because now you can reward them. That instantaneous, you know, kind of reward once the job has been sold gets them excited, and they tend to send more referrals when they get paid. So they're going to get paid in the app. Once again, it's going to render in the app. They can track how much they've earned, how much they've been paid. They can then download the money to their bank, or we have over 200 gift cards that they can select. So this is all put together. This is kind of the outcome of 10 years of doing this, and talking to great contractors like they have at Owens Corning, and all of our customers across the nation is like, hey, what about this? Hey, how can we do this? So if you look back 10 years ago, GTR didn't look like this at all, right? It really evolved over time, and you know, we continue to evolve. We continue to work on consent. Now we have consent components in here so that you can gain consent from a referral. So these referrals are going to be fully consented. They're going to be, you know, referrals are going to close at a much higher rate, and also close at a much higher dollar rate, as I mentioned earlier. So push notifications, once again, super important to stay top of mind. So, whew, that's a lot there, John. Huh?
Yeah, it is, but I mean, it's all important things. And as we, you know, you can transition to the next slide, Jamie. I just wanted to mention with some of the content that we've provided inside of the app for contractors, and it just all goes to this educational element and providing that experience. The shingle selector guide, the total protection roofing system is built in there. Our design and inspire, which ignites the whole piece about color and integrating that into the overall project. Our SureNail technology is built into it. Our roofing warranty guide is built into it. The warranty registration is also built into it. So if you stack those up, those are really key pieces that homeowners are looking for to make decisions to say, I trust you. And with the work that we were able to do with GTR, we've embedded that in for our contractors. So they're utilizing best in class technology. In this case, we're helping we talked in the very beginning, Jamie, about merging the brands. We're doing our part to elevate that and give that homeowner some really solid content to educate themselves. And naturally, they're saying, wow, I haven't received this from anybody else, because this is really all about, you know, changing the process, and like you mentioned before, the best of the best are using this. And so homeowners are saying naturally, you know, this contractor has really got it together. I think I want to do some business with them.
Yeah, and Rich, can we have a quick time check? What are we looking at here, just so I know we can keep things moving along?
Oh, we're about 12 minutes, 12 to 15.
Okay, great. I always like how I got introduced to John and OC was actually a gentleman that works for John, Dave. He was actually talking to a homeowner who was telling him about the experience they had with the roofer and how cool it was because they had an app. And guess what? It was GTR's app. And it kind of came all the way back to, you know, how our partnership got started. So yeah, that's a great story. Yeah.
Dave Bannis, just a solid guy in Owens Corning, and he's a big part of our partnership. So hats off to Dave as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Referring culture, you know, we touched on all these already, right? You know, train your team, make it part of your process, automate the process. and then the timing of it, right? When is the best time to do it? Once again, I love the rule of 9, 3 at the beginning, 3 in the middle, 3 at the end, and then keep them as a raving fan through continuous light touching, through push notifications throughout the relationship. And typically what we see out there is an 80-20 rule where 80% of the people that download the app, you know, are going to send maybe one referral, maybe not. 20% of those people end up becoming multiple referrers and become almost like a 1099 rep out there. We actually have advocates for companies that are earning tens of thousands of dollars every single year. So, and it builds upon itself. That 20% builds up over time because they become multiple referrers. And we've done a couple of case studies with a few of our customers. And what you see is almost every year, the referral doubles each year. So the amount of referrals year 1 to year 2 to year 3
Compounding
to year
effect.
4, almost compounding every year. And it looks like, and the ones that we looked at, they're doubling each year. So it builds upon itself for sure over time.
So Jamie, the question is, who holds the award for, or at least the prize for the most amount of dollars for a reward? It's this astounding number. I think I know what it is, but can you share that?
Yeah, I can't share the person, but it's north of $50,000 that they receive.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is
unbelievable.
like it's a full-time job for them. So
it's out there, and that's a great, you know, it's way over the top, but it tells you that, you know, you put your energy into it, it's going to pay off.
Yep, exactly. All right, moving on to the next slide, Rich, unless you have anything else you want to add there.
No, we're good. Let's go.
Okay, incentivizing, just, you know, making sure that I get this question all the time. How much should I, reward somebody for a referral? Bottom line is, take a look at what your cost per lead is. Understand that, right? Understand what your cost per acquisition is, what your marketing costs are, and then work off of that. So let's just say you pay $500 or say $100 for a lead, and your all-in marketing cost is $750. Well, make sure that you arrange that somewhere where you're saving a little bit of money, but you're not spending more than that, right? So you know, typically what we see out there is most companies are paying like $25 to $50 for a qualified referral where they're writing an estimate. So that gives the immediacy. So a referral comes in, sales rep goes out, they, you know, write an estimate. Immediately the customer gets a notification. Hey, thanks for that referral. Here's 25, here's $50. Thank you, it was a qualified referral. Then once the deal sells, you know, here's 250, here's $500. One of our really successful window companies out there said, you know what we're going to do is we're going to pay you $400 for the first referral, $800 for the second referral, $1,200 for the third referral, and $1,600 for every referral thereafter. So I think you can probably understand where some of those big money dollar people are, because they're earning $1,600 for every referral after 4. And our technology allows you to structure your referral program however you want. You can do a percentage of sale, you can do a tiered, you can do a set, you can do a bonus. So that all kind of goes into the whole process here. You know, don't overcomplicate it. Keep it super simple, and use push notifications to engage, right? Timely reminders. If there's a storm coming and you're a roofer and you just did a job in a neighborhood, reach out to your advocates. Say, hey, listen, there's a storm coming. Remember, if you need our service or your friends or family need us, we're here to help. Here's some information that you can share with them. You know, refer them to us. We're in the neighborhood. Whatever it might be, happy holidays, whatever it is, just make sure that you stay, you know, grounded and in touch with them, and do that through the technology. So, all right. Planning and campaigns for the busy season. We can kind of get into this next slide here. And the reason we kind of want to talk about this is a lot of times we know that summertime's coming up. And matter of fact, I was down in Huntsville, Alabama yesterday, and we were expecting some contractors, but guess what? The weather was really nice, and it's been bad for the last couple of weeks. They wanted to get out there and do some roofs. So we weren't able to talk as many contractors that we wanted, but we still had a good amount. But what you want to be able to do is you want to set the seeds now, right? Plant the seeds right now. Get your advocates, get them downloading the app. Get a set number of advocates per sales rep every week. That way you can start drawing upon those advocates over time. So you don't want to wait until you're not busy any longer and wait till the end of the summer or wait till all your installs are done because you're too busy to do it right now. You want to start setting the seed right now. So start strategizing around your peak demand season and get ready for the the slow periods that naturally come in any type of business. You're going to have the ups and downs. What a good referral strategy does for you, it kind of levels out your business and keeps your sales team, installers, and everybody else on your team engaged and busy throughout the entire year. So
you can get pretty creative, right, Jamie? We think about, hey, go into a home and then go to the next home, go to the next home, which is great. That is rock solid and meat and potatoes of it. But the creativity with regard to the app allows you to, like you said, you could leverage your advocates, whoever they might be, people in your church organization, people in your social environment, social channels. That really sky's the limit. And the technology provides for that, I'm very curious about this. I guess my point to this one is, think outside the box when you're utilizing a technology like this, because it doesn't always have to come just from the home to the home to the home, right?
Exactly. We have customers that use it exclusively for real estate agents and have tens of thousands of real estate agents across the country sending them referrals. I mean, so critical. I'm glad you brought that point back up again, because it's so important to remember and think outside the box. But offering discounts and bonuses based upon the season, you might want to pay a little bit more during slow season, right? And so you can utilize this to actually drive different campaigns at different times of the year. And you have a very captive audience in that they have their app on their phone, right? So it's a very captive audience, and utilizing the emails and push notifications in a way to augment slow times of the year and incent those people to get a little bit more active around those slower seasons and so on and so forth. So a lot of opportunity there.
Holiday seasons.
Super important. And we kind of talk about that here. Run limited time referral bonuses. Once again, seasonal referral bonuses, customer testimonials. Put a couple testimonials in your resource document section. Do a video of a couple customers that earned, a couple $1,000s from referrals, right? Get them talking about your program. Use it and post it on Facebook with your QR code on how somebody else can become an advocate. Use social media to drive more advocates and energy around your program. That's thinking out of the box. And those companies that do that are going to see the greatest results from that. So that's that there. Moving on. Michaela from our team, our senior marketing manager, put together a special offer. You'll see here, you can scan in the referral marketing playbook, all those great things that we kind of talked about, and much, much more, because she does a much better job kind of explaining exactly best practices and such. But all the things that we've been learning over the last 10 years, Michaela had put this in a free resource. So you can go ahead and on the right-hand side, if you hit that QR code, you can scan in the playbook so that you can actually kind of have it downloaded on your computer or on your phone and kind of reference some of the things that we talked about here today. We also created a book a demo that's specific to this webinar. On the left-hand side, you'll see the GTR book a demo QR code. If you would like to find out more information about GTR, get a personal demo, kind of get into the the inner workings of it, how we do the integrations, the dashboard on the back end, and all those kind of fun things. We got a great account executive team that can kind of walk you through that, look at what your specific needs are, and address them with a solution that's going to make the most sense for you. And the best part about it is you're going to be able to save 10% if you book a demo before 3/31. So there's a little limit to that, but if you book your demo before the end of the month, you're going to get a 10% discount on any one of our plans. So pretty exciting to get that out to all of you that were on this call today, and appreciate your time here today. But John, what else have you got to say there?
Well, I was gonna, we were talking about opportunity and, with regard to our partnership, obviously we talked about really a custom app, GCR app that we have available. So if the folks on today's webinar are with our program, or an OCCN member, that's fantastic. Then go right in with your area sales manager and learn a little bit more about it. If not, then we can help you become part of our program. What I'm getting at is that we have custom content built in for you, but we also, in addition to that, we are co-investing with the GTR for the benefit of our contractors, and contractors are offered a 20% discount with GTR, with custom content, and that experience provides for kind of what we talked about here today. So Jamie, thanks for letting me jump in and share a little bit of that for those that may be part of our network that are online right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great network to be part of. I met many of your contractors, and they love the Pink Panther. They love you guys and your products. So I do appreciate you, taking some time out of your day and being part of this webinar today. And just appreciate Rich for putting this together with his audience. We love talking about what we love doing, right? And hopefully you see the passion around it. We love what we do. We love our customers. We're going to do everything we can do to make sure that you're successful. So we hope to hear from you. Hopefully you, at a minimum, take advantage of that free resource that we put together. But I will hand it back over to Rich for any final questions or anything that we can add to the webinar.
Yeah, if anybody has a question, you can go ahead and put it into the question thingy. I don't know what it's called. We'll call it a question thingy. While we're waiting for that, I'll just put a fine point on this. I just realized I had a referral experience this last week where I was, this story is going to be about how great referrals are in terms of closing. My wife has been wanting to buy a new vehicle for about 6 months now, but it's not available at any dealerships. It's a Lexus called a GX 550. Ever heard of that, Jamie? It's an SUV.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get them. They're not available. If you go to the dealership, they don't have any. They've got a waiting list that they say is 9 to 15 months. They don't really know. It depends on how many they get each month, and you can't even test drive them because they don't have them at the dealership. So we just kind of reluctantly not pursued it. And then about 3 weeks ago, we were sitting there and we see one of these GX 550s drive past our house and into our neighbor's driveway. Well, our neighbor just got one. So my wife reaches out to her and says, "Hey, what's the deal? How did you get this car?" She says, "Oh, there's this guy I know that gets cars." She goes, my wife says, "What do you mean?" "Well, he's a guy that can just get cars. So you just call him and tell him what you want and he gets it for you. He charges a little bit extra, probably about $4 or $5 grand, something like that. And but he can get it for you without having to wait." And my wife said, "Well, can I test drive yours, because I've never been able to even test drive one?" She said, "Yeah, sure." So she went over, she test drove it. We got the guy's number. I texted him, and within an hour, the guy had sold me a Lexus GX 550 that I took delivery on after, I think, 9 days. And,
That's awesome.
and I remember saying to my wife, like, this feels really fishy. But hey, Erin, that's our neighbor. Erin did it, and she's happy, right. So I guess it's fine. Even in this weird situation where it's a little bit sketchy, turns out it's not sketchy. He's got some connections. Right. It's legal. It's legit. But even in a situation where I never met the guy. Guy.
But it's a really great example because you do trust your homeowner. You do trust your neighbor, rather, right? You're like, my neighbor did it, then I can trust it. It's exactly what we've been talking about all day. That's a great example. Although
I might change the name of Get the Referral to, "Hey, I got a guy," right?
I got a guy.
Hey, I got a guy.
Right. Exactly. Turns out his name is Kyle. If anybody needs it, I'll be taking, just text me. I'll turn you on to him. I'll take a small commission. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, when you look at roofs, roofing is an industry that understandably has, let's call it, not the greatest reputation in the world. And we had another situation last year in August. We had a major storm hit. I live out in Utah, and we don't get storms out there that often, but we got hit, and about 20,000 homes were affected. My entire neighborhood was affected. Almost every single home needed a new roof. And I'm going to tell you, there was a lot of conversation at church, around the neighborhood, people walking dogs, getting phone calls, getting texts. Hey, who are you using? Who should we use for this? Hey, my roofing guy said this. Hey, do you know a roofing guy? Like, it's the real deal. So Jamie,
Yeah.
I love this product. I'm so glad that you could be on the webinar today to show it to the audience. Looking forward to being on your webinar next week. But for today, this is fantastic stuff. If you haven't, I'm going to go back one slide. If you haven't asked for the demo yet, please do that.
Rich, I have to say thanks, and Jamie, say to thank you both for the opportunity. Rich, this is our first time having an opportunity in a webinar, and as I just mentioned, thank you so much. You do great things, and you're in the roofing industry, and your business has been instrumental in helping change a lot of businesses, and so a lot of respect for you and your organization, and I really do appreciate the opportunity here to talk about our partnership with GTR for the benefit of the roofing industry and of course the homeowner experience. So can't thank you enough for this opportunity to both of you.
Yeah, hey, I did get one question come in, Jamie. This is for you. I'm going to paraphrase it because it's written just a little bit weird, but here, I'm going to just paraphrase it in my words. Can you talk a little bit more about the what did you call it? Like the Domino's pizza tracker function of this app? I think that's really cool. Somebody asked about that. Like, how does the job tracking work?
Yeah, so we'll integrate, whether, like I said, we integrate with a ton of different CRMs. So what the neatness about the cool part about our app is that everything is dynamic. So we can change the verbiage in the app to match what you're currently doing in your CRM. So if you have a stage called permit received, we can match that in our app. So as soon as your project manager moves that job from new install to permit received or whatever status that is, it automatically sends a push notification to the customer on email as well that says, hey, your job just moved to this next stage. Click here to see what's next. And so they can actually click on it. So you can have up to 9 different stages. And then at any point in time, they can click on the button on the home screen, and it brings them to the Domino Pizza Tracker that shows, grayed out all the stages that have been completed, highlight the one that's currently, and it shows you what the next stage is coming up. So super important for that communication, that seamless communication. And I'll say it here is that, some contractors aren't really good at communicating. And so if we can make that easier for you, utilizing the project tracking, please take a look, scan in the QR code, take a look at what it actually, kind of looks like in real time. And it's completely customizable for you and your team and how you go about doing your job. If you don't have a CRM, it's okay. You can actually use our system as a standalone and send push notifications and update the project from our system as well. So
yeah,
hopefully,
it just occurred to me, if let's say you got a homeowner who's a little bit reluctant to put your app on their phone for the referral side of things, hey, I've got 500 apps on here already. Do I really need your app? But when it's kind of a backdoor, right? It's like, hey, this is our project tracking app. Oh, geez,
exactly.
Yeah, I'll put that on there for sure. Okay, now guess what? You've got our referral app already built into that. Like it's really, really cool that way. It's a bigger benefit than just, hey, give us, you can use this to give us referrals, which is amazing, but also, a real benefit. Like, I don't think most contractors besides this would have an app to give to their customers to track the job, would they?
No, there really isn't anything out there that is so dynamic and have an app to have an app built like this. I mean, you're talking tons of cash, because I built the very first one 10 years ago, and it was very very different, and it was very expensive, put it that way. And I will add that for those folks that do not want an app on their phone, guess what? We have a web version that we embed on your website. so you can actually have it on your website as well, so they can log into their account and do all the things they do in the app on the website. So for that small contingent of folks that do not want to do that, you can still give them the great experience and have them access their account on your website, or they can save that URL and log in at any point in time. So I'm glad you brought that up as well.
Okay, yeah, and thanks. I think it was Greg that asked that question. Thank you, Greg, for that question. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Jamie, thanks for your time today. John, also glad to have you on the webinar, and we'll talk to you all next time. Thanks.
All right, thank you, everybody. Nice meeting you. All right. Hey, John.